Hey, what's up? Got some donut powder right here on my mustache. Let me get rid of that. Hey, how you doing? This is a message for my children. I want you to know that y'all three mean the world to me. I love you guys with all my heart. I want to talk to y'all guys about life. In life, you're going to experience all types of emotions. You're going to experience times where you're extremely happy. You're going to experience time where you're extremely sad. There's going to be tragedies throughout life. People don't live forever. And people don't always leave on the best of terms and the best of situations. If you're fortunate enough, you'll experience heartbreak. You'll experience different disappointments from those closest to you. You know, me or your mother or whoever, you know. In life, you're going to do things that you'll regret. I want you guys to know that life is full of ups and downs. And I want to talk to you about depression and suicide. There are plenty of people out here who have taken their lives, all due to being overwhelmed by sad emotions or tragic situations. They do it to escape because this world is many things. And one of the things this world is, it's a dark place. It's a crazy place. It's a heartless and ruthless place. I want you to know that this is true. Trouble don't last always. There's going to come times where you'll get depressed because of life. But I tell you what, don't believe the devil's lie that things aren't going to get better, because things will get better. And do not take your life. Your life is precious. Your life is a gift of God. It's a gift from God. Do not take your life. Don't get caught up in drinking or doing drugs. When it comes to dealing with hard times, pray. Vent in positive ways. Find someone that you can trust, someone that's a true confidant that you can tell your problems to. Always know that your mother and me are here. We're here to comfort you, not to judge you. If you do something wrong, we may feel a certain way. That's because we love you and want the best for you. But don't you dare take your life. Don't let depression be a vehicle of the enemy to do something crazy as committing suicide. Never kill yourself. Things get better. I remember growing up and I was 12. I had a group of guys that I really hung tight with from elementary school to middle school. And as we were getting older, we started to separate. And the summer of 93, I became real depressed. I was 12 and I was real depressed. My close friends weren't as close as we used to be. And I felt a certain way, and it hurt. And I remember that summer just staying in a lot, you know. Just heartbroken, you know, because things were changing. the summer I came to Christ. God really spoke to my heart during this time that really was nothing. As I get older, I look back, it was really nothing. But back when I was 12, my world was totally devastated because of what was going on. And that's another thing, too. When you get older, those problems don't mean nothing. But as a 12-year-old, my world was crumbling. And that's another thing, too. These teen years, they're going to be crazy, full of emotion, full of trying to discover who you are, and you're going to have some ups and downs. So don't get caught up in depression or letting the enemy tell you want to take your life, because life gets better. But anyway, like I said, that summer I was depressed. But I remember going to my grandmother's church, which I haven't been to in a couple years because I was really into the church that was in my neighborhood. I was going to the Bible clubs there and I was being ministered to there. But anyway, I was forced to go to this summer program at church my grandma went to, and Christ was really speaking to me. So I went to those vacation Bible schools for like 3 weeks in the summer, and then at the end of the summer, we had a trip with the Bible club group that I grew up in, and we had to read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John to pay for our Great Adventures trip and our trip to New Jersey to visit Other World Impact. And during that time, about reading about Christ, my eyes were open. And I remember as we were reading the Gospels, I went to the bathroom and I said, God, I want to be a Christian. I want to be saved. And though 93 was a turbulent year for me, it was one of the best years of my life because I came to know Christ. He'd been calling me a year before, but he finally opened my eyes and I seen that Christ was the truth. Another scenario, when I was 18, back in 1999, I lost my grandmother. She was 80 years old, and I was a grandmom's boy. I often stayed weekends with my grandmother. I called her just about every day. Me and my grandma was real tight. And I lost her Valentine's Day, 1999. And I was so hurt. I was so devastated. I was so heartbroken. I remember that year I often cried for my grandmother. I would have dreams, and I'll wake up from my dreams and face full of tears. I even recall one time crying for my grandma in a dream, and I was crying hard. And I woke up, this time was different, my face was dry. And man, I believe that was my very spirit crying for my grandmother. I was hurt. But also that year, my church family, they were there for me. We did a whole lot of great things. I have received a lot of love from my church, and did a lot of good things in ministry, and had a lot of good times with my church family, things that I remember and cherish for the rest of my life. So I do understand. I don't know where it's come from. I think it's from an old book or something. It's a saying, it was the worst of times, it was the best of times, or it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. Basically, you know what I mean? Bad things will happen. You will be hurt, you will be devastated, but there's also good things to come too. I want you guys to know, again, life is full of ups and downs. You're going to experience all types of emotions. Don't never let the devil fool you. Don't never let the devil deceive you as to take your life. Do not take your life. Things will indeed get better in life. Do not take your life. And it's so sad that people get caught up in depression, get caught up in bad times, and they kill themselves because they want to escape. And sometimes life is like that, where the hurt is so great and the hurt is so devastating that you don't want to face it, you know? That you don't want to face it. That's one of the reasons why people get caught up in drinking and doing drugs. And me personally, you know, life is hard. You know, one of the ways I deal with it is overeating, and that's not good. You know, but anyway, don't get caught up in depression and these bad emotions, because life does get better. You know, you just gotta hang in there, and when you're going through, you gotta pray. You got to cry out to God, like, God, I need help. God, I need you to heal my heart. God, put the right people in my life that's going to be a shoulder for me to cry on, that's going to strengthen me, and I can strengthen them, you know? But don't let the devil deceive you. Do not take your life. Do not get caught up in depression and these bad emotions. Don't be deceived. My children, do not be deceived. Life does get better. Another example, me and your mother. Your mother was the love of my life, you know. How things ended between us, and it left me brokenhearted, devastated. You know, I was messed up. I was depressed. You know, I was really hurt. I was hurt for a couple years, thought I would never love again. You know, I was also hurt because the dynamic of our living situation changed. I went from having y'all, you know, and your mom not being there, to doing things by myself, till when me and your mom start going back and forth. I had y'all one week, she had you another week, and then went from I'm having you one half of the week, your mom having y'all the other half of the week, and then I got a job and whereas which I can only get y'all the weekends or 3 days during the week. And I was in situations where my living situations where I had to come to y'all and make other arrangements. So, man, that was depressing. Being away from y'all guys is depressing, man. You know? And during those hard times, you know, though I was hurt and broken, there was a lot of good in those times, you know. I look back and I became a decent cook, somewhat, you know. I had to learn how to cook. You know, we did a whole lot of fun things together. You know, think about the times where we went to Red Robin, our Chuck E. Cheese adventures, the different adventures we had hanging out with friends I met over the years. Good times we had, you know, living with Maurice, and the apartments I had, and we had a whole lot of good times. So it wasn't all bad. It really wasn't all bad. You know? So I want you to know that when you go through bad things in life, you gotta be strong. Pray your way through. Praise God regardless. Focus on the good. Don't let the bad times mess you up. Things will get better. This is something that was told to me by my spiritual father. And I believe also Pop-Pop shares with me as well. Tough situations don't last. Only tough guys and tough girls. Again, tough situations don't last. Only tough guys and tough girls. And I want y'all to know, we Yanceys. And by the grace of God, we're strong. By the grace of God, we endure. I want you guys to know that no matter what you're going through, things will get better. Believe me, I know. I remember, refuge was no longer, and I had to find a church home and a new church home because of different situations I was going through. And God blessed me to find another church home, and I was happy again. I remember times of being without work, and during stints of unemployment, being depressed and broke, busted, and disgusted. But God blessed me with employment, and things were rocking again. So again, remember, tough situations don't last. Only tough guys and tough girls do. So don't get caught up in bad times. Pray and get through them. Endure and be strong and get through them. Make the best out of a worse situation and grow stronger. Do not commit suicide. Do not end your life. Life will get better for you. Like I said, you'll grow up and you may experience heartache. Someone who you love and trusted may do you in the worst way. And you'll be sad, and you'll be heartbroken, and you'll be depressed. Don't worry. Things will get better. Don't worry. You'll love again. Don't worry. Them good emotions and good feelings will come back. Don't listen to the devil's lie. Do not hurt yourself. Do not kill yourself. Do not end your life. Things will get better. Things will get better. And that's what I was going to say before I got caught up. Those that do fall for the devil's lies and kill themselves, you know what they do? They escape their hurt and pain, but they give that hurt and pain to their loved ones. And now their loved ones are crying, and their loved ones are sad, and their loved ones are devastated because they left this world in a horrible way, that they ended their lives. I have a good friend whose son committed suicide. And the son was depressed because his wife left him, and we couldn't see his daughter, and the hurt, it devastated him, and he couldn't take it, and he ended his life. And at the end of the day, you know what? He thought he escaped, but he really didn't. He ended his life. He had so much to live for. He could have experienced better days and a better situation, you know, but he ended his life. And all that hurt and pain that he escaped from, he just passed it on to his mother. He just passed it on to his father. He just passed it on to his daughter. He even passed it on to his ex. Who knows, they might have got back together. But she was totally devastated after what happened. Again, do not commit suicide. Do not kill yourself. Don't let depression mess with your mind. Don't let the devil deceive you in depression. Things will get better. Things will get better. You'll have all types of experience with bad emotions, sadness, depression, all that. Those times won't last. Even though you may have long stints and seasons of those bad emotions, believe me, good times are coming. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Tunnel of life. Anyway, guys, I love you. I love you guys with all my heart. This is March 2nd, 2018. I just got done talking to Willie and O probably a few hours back. Daddy loves you. My princess, Daddy loves you. I love you three with all my heart. I love you guys. This is Dad.